November 23, 1944. A B-17 Flying Fortress touches down on a Belgian airfield near Brussels, its engines humming perfectly, landing gear deployed with mechanical precision. Ground crews rush toward the bomber, expecting to greet another crew returning from a mission over Nazi Germany. But when they pry open the hatch, they find nothing. Empty seats, cold coffee, navigation charts scattered across the floor. The crew had simply vanished as if swallowed by the fog. This is the unheard chronicle of World War II's most chilling stories. Tales of ghost planes, spectral figures, haunted battlegrounds, and entities that blurred the line between the living and the dead. When war engulfed the globe in 1939, it brought more than bullets and bombs. It awakened something far older and more terrifying. High above the Pacific, Allied pilots began reporting strange encounters. Glowing orbs danced around their aircraft, keeping perfect formation, defying every law of physics. They called them Foo Fighters, initially dismissing them as enemy secret weapons. But these lights appeared over every theater of war, following bombers through flak-filled skies, never attacking, just watching. Pilots would radio frantically, describing balls of fire that could outmaneuver any fighter plane, then vanish without a trace. On the blood-soaked beaches of Guadalcanal in 1942, Marines whispered about encounters with Yuri, Japanese spirits of the unquiet dead. Soldiers reported seeing translucent figures wandering through the jungle, their faces twisted in eternal anguish. One Marine wrote home, "It's like the island remembers. The screams don't stop." The indigenous people warned that the massive death toll had disturbed ancient spirits, awakening things that should have remained buried. The horror followed Allied forces across the Pacific. On Saipan in 1944, where thousands of Japanese civilians leapt to their deaths from cliff tops rather than surrender, soldiers heard cries echoing from the rocks below. Translucent forms were spotted wandering the beaches at dawn, searching for something they would never find. The island had become a repository of grief, where the boundary between life and death grew dangerously thin. Meanwhile, in Europe, the beaches of Normandy told their own ghostly tales. After D-Day, when over 2,000 died on Omaha Beach alone, soldiers reported seeing ghost soldiers walking the shoreline at midnight. These spectral figures wore the uniforms of fallen comrades, their faces pale as moonlight, forever trapped in their final moments of terror. Deep in the Ardennes forest during the Battle of the Bulge in December 1944, German and Allied troops alike spoke of Waldgeister, forest spirits awakened by the massive artillery bombardments. Soldiers heard voices calling their names from the darkness, but when they followed, they found only empty foxholes and the smell of decay. The Diplomat Hotel in Baguio City, Philippines, built as a Dominican monastery in 1913, became a house of horrors when Japanese forces occupied it in 1942. They tortured and executed hundreds of Filipino civilians within its walls. Even today, visitors report hearing screams echoing through empty corridors and seeing the ghostly figure of a young woman in white, forever searching for her lost children. Perhaps most disturbing was the disappearance of Private First Class Reginald in the Swiss Alps. His patrol found his half-eaten remains alongside the bones of missing children. Local villagers whispered of something ancient awakened by the war, a creature that fed on the innocent. The official report simply stated, "Unsolved." Over the Pacific, the L-8 blimp returned to base in 1942 with its crew missing, life rafts intact, radio still functioning. The last transmission was chilling, abandoned ship. But abandoned ship to what? The crew was never found. Near Stalingrad, where over 1 million died in 1942 and 43, Soviet soldiers reported encounters with prizraki, ghostly figures rising from mass graves. These spirits seemed to beckon the living toward the frozen earth as if seeking company in their eternal rest. In Singapore's Fort Canning bunker, British soldiers reported a benevolent presence they called the Guardian, a spectral figure that seemed to warn of incoming attacks, protecting the post from harm. Initially, military officials dismissed these reports as combat fatigue, Who had time for ghosts when millions marched to battle? But patterns emerged. The mysterious B-17 crew was eventually found, alive, but with no memory of their flight. Yet the plane's perfect landing remained unexplained, its autopilot disengaged. These wartime supernatural stories shaped post-war culture, influencing horror films and becoming subjects of veterans' confessions decades later. Perhaps the immense slaughter of World War II truly thinned the veil between worlds, allowing ordinary soldiers to glimpse the abyss and discover it was staring back. The shadows of war linger still, whispering through history's pages. What if the dead don't rest? The question hangs in the air, chill as morning fog, reminding us that some battles never truly end.